Hi, everybody. Welcome to the KC CHIROpulse podcast brought to you by CATS Consultants, helping doctors keep their pulse on success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Perusich, and I'm joined today with Marisa Mateja. Marisa is our Chief Operating Officer. Hello, Marisa.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yes, always a pleasure. I've noticed something, and I don't know, it's not really a trend. It's just something I've noticed in the last few weeks, talking to clients and just, doctors that aren't clients, because we interact with lots and lots of people in the profession. And I heard from a couple of people in the last couple of weeks, kind of the same little theme. And it was, it seems like today you can't see as many patients as we used to, because we're still trying to keep records and do all these things. And anyway, long story short, querying them down just a little bit, I find out that they don't have computerized note taking. They don't have computerized scheduling. They don't have any patient reminder systems. Everything's still done by hand. And yet in today's world, that worked 20, 30, 40 years ago, doing it that way, because we didn't have the documentation level requirements that we do today and all the other regulations and things that we have to manage. So today, you've got to have technology at your fingertips to make everything work. And I know you've seen the same thing.
I have. And for a long time, I've kind of had this observation, and I don't know, there's no scientific data behind this, but the observation is based on just what and who we talk to and those kind of things. One of the things that I notice, and I don't know, I've tried to put this in perspective for myself to figure this out, but I don't know if it's because we're such a hands-on profession. So chiropractic, being such a face-to-face profession with their patients and being right there with them and all of those kind of things. I don't know if that's part of it, but I've noticed we tend to be lagging just a little bit on the technology front. Now, I'm not saying everybody by any means, but I have noticed that clinics really struggle sometimes with implementing and really utilizing tools at their fingertips.
Right.
And I will, I'm going to take this another step too. I noticed this in another profession as well, and that's hairstylists. They do the same thing. It's still taking schedule by hand. It's still doing some of the things that, worked a long time ago, but there's so many better options out there now to utilize technology.
Right.
And creating not only efficiency in your practice, but ease of which to communicate with patients, having the ability for them to schedule online. That's such a huge step moving forward for a lot of the chiropractic offices, getting used to that and implementing that into their practices. There's just so many tools at our fingertips that I think sometimes are overlooked.
Right. And I don't know exactly, we haven't done a double-blind cohort study on this, but
no.
I don't know exactly what some of the stumbling blocks to that are. I think there's probably more than one. And I think some of those are, maybe just a misconception of the value that adds to your practice. Is a computer really going to make my practice more efficient? Well, if you're not used to using a computer a whole lot, you might not realize the efficiencies that it can create. I think there's also an awareness issue. I don't think some doctors really understand that electronic scheduling, for example, how it can really eliminate a lot of the busy work, if you will, that happens at the front desk. And appointment reminder systems that automatically remind patients, so your staff's not on the phone all day long. They're taking care of the patients that are in front of them instead. Absolutely. So, I think there's just maybe a lack of technological understanding.
Could be.
Sometimes with some of that, so I encourage doctors to just, if you don't have some of this technology, get out there and look at what's available. A lot of it's interesting. Most of it's fairly easy to implement into your office. Again, is there a learning curve? Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Is change a little frightening for some? Yes, we
It
get
is.
that. Um, but you'll also, at the same time, you'll be amazed at what some of it can really do to efficiency eyes, if I can make up a word,
Yeah.
to make your clinic more efficient.
You know, I, I'll give you one example. We used to use an appointment reminder calendar that you could print out. You could circle days and schedule patients and write out their appointments and all that. While nowadays, all you have to do is print their schedule out of your scheduling system if you've got one implemented. It's super easy. You don't have to
Right.
spend the time. So just spending 5 or 6 minutes handwriting all of those appointments versus hitting print and just handing it to a patient. I mean, that right there saves a ton of time in your day. If you're
Right.
seeing 5 or 6 new patients a day, my goodness, that's 30, 40 minutes right there just in scheduling time that could be eliminated.
Right. Nope, that's exactly right. And, you know, some of these reminder systems that are out there today, oh my gosh, are they amazing? They do so much more than just send a text message out to a patient to remind them about an appointment.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell somebody happy birthday. You can ask for a Google review.
Yeah.
We haven't seen you in a while. You can use it for reactivations. There's so much efficiency again to it that it just takes your practice to the next level. And that's kind of what technology does. And I'm going to tell you in the future, docs, and I'm going to kind of not really get in your face here a little bit, but I just want to tell you some realities. Regulations like the Cures Act are forcing us down that path to become automated. So, like it or not, the technology is coming to your office before you realize it, most likely.
Well, and I don't know if any of you have been to the doctor lately, but I just had to do an online Teledoc
Hmm.
last week. Okay. And you do it within an app. You see the doctor just like, I would see you right now, and you have a conversation, and all of a sudden you're done. And immediately, as soon as they generate your daily note, it comes straight to you.
Right.
So I have access to that
Right.
immediately. And a lot of what we're going to see in the future is going to be those notes have to be completed. And, we've said this for a long time, and more than likely they will be attached to your billing that you send in to insurance companies.
Exactly. And the healthcare profession, just in general in the United States, is getting patients right now, getting patients used to those kind of systems.
Okay.
And
Everybody has a portal.
right. And if we don't have those in the near future, and I don't know what that near future is, it's just going to make our offices look like we're behind the times, because that's what patients are getting used to. They're getting used to those quicker appointments. I get my information quicker. Everything's become we're now the fast food of healthcare, if you will, the drive up window of healthcare, because that's what everybody's expecting. So we're going to have to embrace technology as it comes about.
COVID did a few things in a positive manner, in my opinion. Moving us forward with technology was one of those.
Right.
It immediately bounced how many people to working from home. And what
Right.
happened when you work from home? Oh my goodness, you have to use a ton of new technology, or you have to get used to those things pretty quickly. And so the healthcare industry is no different. I mean, we're going to be moving in that direction completely.
Exactly.
Like I said, I just did a whole meeting with a doctor just like this via a Zoom call within an app on my phone. I
Right.
mean, it was amazing. You schedule, and 5 minutes later, you're talking to a doctor. It's not scheduling an appointment and waiting. Now, chiropractic, again, we're hands-on. Those things won't necessarily come into our profession as much. I think there are opportunities there probably, but not as much. You're going to have people still coming to see you. So being able to figure out ways to make your clinic efficient so that they still feel like they got that experience like we just talked about is going to be huge. And technology is the way you do that.
Yep. Agreed. So, docs, if you aren't technologically advanced in your clinic, start working that way. Just do some research, see what's out there, see how it can benefit you. Talk to your team about it in your office, and get their thoughts and opinions, and keep them in the loop, because honestly, it's going to be your staff that's going to do most of the implementation of it anyway. So, there's lots of opportunities to see what's out there, especially as we come into the summer months and the fall, when all the state associations start having their events again and so forth. So go to those. Even if you're not getting your continuing ed credits, go and just walk through and talk to the vendors and see what's available out there. It's really amazing what we have access to.
And we didn't even touch on like the therapy side of things and, all of those, the actual, practice stuff that you could use.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
It is.
For sure. All right, Marisa. Well, thank you for joining me today. And to everybody out there, thanks for listening to the KC CHIROpulse podcast, brought to you by CATS Consultants. Be sure to check us out at catsconsultants.com. And from all of us here at CATS Consultants, stay well adjusted.